age 13
Yeah.
that your mom took you to church and you were baptized, correct?
Yeah, I to this day, I still have the picture. My wife keeps it around because it's a great memory. And sorry if I start to get a little emotional, but
No.
it's one of the most genuine and precious memories I have in my brain. And it reminds me every day of how much that there is a God that loves people like myself, like all of us.
Yeah.
So my mom was probably one of the craziest people I ever met in my whole life. So my mom was this lady that she was very hard to approach, but there was this little old lady named Mary. I love this lady to death because she had a white poodle. We grew up in Seven Trees. Seven Trees was pretty hood in the 90s. It was pretty dangerous. But she would walk her little poodle around, and everybody knew her, so everybody looked out for her. But she would go around and tell people like us, as we were growing up, and we're little hoodlums, that Jesus loved us, that he cared for us, that he loved us. And she would talk to my mom. And it tripped me out because my mom didn't listen to anybody. But for some reason, this lady captivated my mom, and my mom would always listen to her, and this lady would tell my mom about God and said that God loves her. And so she convinced my mom to go to church one day, and that was the only time I've ever seen my mom sober. There was 3 years she went to church, and she was sober for 3 years, and she got us to go to church, and she got my dad to go to church. And my dad was a very hateful, spiteful person. When he got out of prison, he hated anyone that wasn't Mexican or anyone from his side of town.
Right.
So he would get into a lot of fights. We'd be driving, he'd get into fights with people. But he went to church one day, and God really changed and transformed his life. To that point on, he never went back to his old lifestyle. He gave up everything.
Wow.
And so when we went to church and I saw these people, and there's no reason why these white people should love us, right? Because they were in the hood. And there's this little white church, this little Baptist church. It's not there anymore, unfortunately, right in Seven Trees. But these people took us in, and we looked grubby. I mean, like holes. Okay,
Right.
I look back on I'm like, dang, hide those pictures because that is brutal. But we came in looking homely, and those people just loved us. And I remember the preacher was preaching a sermon, and at 12 or 13 years old, I just remember thinking to myself, like, whoever this Jesus is that they're talking about, I got to get to know him because he's real. Because the way they talk about him is real. But not only that, why would they love me so much? Like, these people have no reason to love me. They have no skin in the game. You know, matter of fact, we could be detrimental to them. We're dangerous to them. My mom's dangerous to them. We're dangerous people to them. We could destroy a lot of things in life, especially my mom. But they still loved us.
Wow.
And so what is that about? And that's when I was like, you know what? I don't know if you're real or not, God, but I want to ask you in my heart and let you in my life because you've changed their life. There's something here. So yeah, that was my experience at church, and it always stuck with me ever since I was 13, even to this day.
Wow.